where are the pitfalls that you kind of see agents that they need the most help in?
They don't have a system. They don't know how to properly introduce themselves. They don't have a good fact finder or value finder. They're all over the place.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Annuity Fundamentals. I'm your host, Kylie Malat, joined by our co-host, the one and only Mr. Ryan Anderson. Today we might have my my favorite guest ever, also known AKA as my bestie, but also one of the managing partners to Annuity Fundamentals, Angelique Madsen. Angelique, I'm so stoked for you to be here. It's been a minute. You should have been here a long time ago, but she doesn't like to be in front of the camera, and that's okay. But no, we're excited to have her here. Today we're going to go over some fact finding and the importance of it. So it's going to be a good episode. So thanks, Angelique, for hopping on.
Happy to be here. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you. We love you too. So Angelique and I, our paths crossed, 7 years ago? How long has it been?
About 6 years.
Okay, so I was the district manager for our former company. She came in and interviewed. She was at that point in time, a telephone salesperson for a local pest control company. We immediately hit it off. She came on board, and from the rest has been history. Then when she and when Kylie left that organization and took Angelique with her, it took them a couple of months to get me to come on board, and we came off and through a series of events, Annuity Fundamentals was born. But one of the things about Angelique, and having said this, is being the person that trained you in the insurance world. I mean, you came in with no insurance experience at that point in time, but you have probably one of the greatest abilities to get in and know people from anybody I've ever seen. That to sit across the table and get into people's lives is just an inherent gift that, I mean, I can't even come near your level of doing that. And I always loved it that when I'd go on appointments with you and we'd come back for an annuity tee-up or something like that, the people were there, they were ready, they were excited, they were engaged, compared to other agents I'd worked with at the same time that had the same training. And I'd show up and they're like, and I was like, all right, let's talk about money. He's like, you're here to talk to us about money? We thought we were doing Medicare. Then I'd look at the agent and they're like, I just want to slap them, and then I'd have to roll into this. But the way that our system with Annuity Fundamentals works is that Kylie and I are the primary teachers for a 6-week-long live class that we have every week, and it starts every couple of weeks, where we help Medicare agents add annuity language to their business. And during that 6-week course, we cover the key 3. We teach you how to properly introduce yourself, how to do a fact finder, and then how to do the annuity tee-up. And that may not sound like a lot, but it is a tremendous amount of information that we help folks get covered. And everybody that comes to the class, we've never had anybody say, yeah, this was no good for me. We got 90-something 5-star reviews on Google from the last 6 months. It's crazy. But the thing about it is, after the class is over and you get that tee up, what do you do next? And that's where Angelique's role comes in. That she goes through and she works with agents one-on-one after the class. She actually attends meetings with you via Zoom. She does training with you. She does role-playing with you so that you are able to take the skills you just learned and bridge them into your business on a daily basis. Did I summarize that adequately, ladies? All right, so Angelique, I am a new agent. All right, now I'm not a new agent. I'm an experienced agent. I might have a couple of hundred Medicare clients under my belt. I just came through and finished Kylie and I's class on Annuity Fundamentals, the Annuity 101, and I am able to do a tee-up. And I'm inviting you to my first appointment where we're going to do an Annuity 101. Walk me through that. Walk me through fact finding. Walk me through everything that you think that, as far as where you see the agents struggle with the most and what you're able to help them deal with.
Okay, so after they get that annuity tee-up, they'll typically email me, and they'll email me their fact finder. So with the fact finder, it has the client's name, birthday, what type of medical insurance they're on, if they have life insurance, if they have long-term care, a will or trust, and then it will also have their assets. So if they have money in a 401k, savings, stocks, bonds, CDs, all of those assets are listed. And the purpose of finding out that information from the client is so that we can make recommendations for them. We are asset protectors, and we let our clients know that as we do our company introduction with them and our fact finding. And we just want to make sure that those clients are protected from market losses and downturns in the market. And so we get all of that information from the agent, and then if there's things missing, which sometimes there is, then I'll need to ask a few questions. And then we have an appointment, a first-time appointment with their client, and that's called the Annuity 101 appointment. And that is where we will sit with the client. They're typically in another state, and I'm on Zoom. And I will get on Zoom and ask their client some more questions and better feel for where they're at. And then I will often do a annuity education with them if I feel like that would be an appropriate product for them moving forward. So that usually takes about 45 minutes to do the education, and then we have some more questions. We call it our confidential needs analysis, and we go over that, and then that appointment ends, and we work on coming up with case designs and illustrations for that client.
Beautiful. Angelique, she was a fun fact. She was actually my trainer. So my first, 3 months in the business, Angelique really held my hand, and she operates differently than I do. And that was a great opportunity to be with somebody who thinks differently, and especially when it comes to getting to know people. So earlier, Ryan had mentioned that you get in people's lives more than the average agent. So talk a little bit about that, kind of that process, because this is a relationship business. I mean, you're building a relationship of trust with your client, and there's a lot of agents who are uncomfortable with building that relationship. So give these new agents, these experienced agents, whatever you want to call them, but a little bit of a taste of how you approach an appointment, because you have a very high success rate. So how do you approach that appointment that you would say is different from other agents?
Well, I learned from Ryan early on that they have to know you, like you, and trust you. I was grateful for his training as a new agent because I had no idea what I was doing. And, I was lucky from the beginning to have Doug McDermott come into our office and really talk about having a servant's heart. He beat that into our little heads. And I think just really having the desire to be able to help people understand Medicare. That's where it starts typically, is we are helping people with Medicare and finding the right plan for those people, making sure that they're going to have the coverage that they need in retirement, and making sure that they understand Medicare, because it is so confusing, and it feels so good to be able to go into that home and spend 45 minutes or an hour with them and educating them on all those confusing puzzle pieces. And I just love people. I love my clients. I love the people that I've been able to work with. They're just amazing people, and it's been a blessing to be able to serve my community and be able to help educate them on the different parts of Medicare. And also, a lot of times they have questions on when they need to take Social Security. They have all of these things coming at them as they move into retirement. And so it's nice to be able to help them make some of those tough decisions and help them understand the things that they need to be aware of as they're moving forward in retirement.
All right. Now, you're sitting down with a new agent, and we go through this. And what do you think are the problem areas you see most agents deal with? Specifically, as you walk into an appointment, where are the pitfalls that you kind of see agents that they need the most help in?
They don't have a system. They don't know how to properly introduce themselves. They don't have a good fact finder or value finder. They're all over the place. We had a very good system. You walk in the home, you kind of do your chit-chatting for a little bit, get to know them. Sometimes people want to chit-chat a lot longer than you have, and I would sit there and do that, where Kylie's like, come on, let's go. But you have that, 10, 15 minutes of just kind of getting to know them. And then you introduce yourself properly. You tell them the areas that you work in, and then you get into that fact finding, and that's a very step-by-step process as well. And so I just think people don't have the systems in place. And also a good CRM. You need to take good notes. After every appointment, I would do my little voice speech to text and my digital fact finder and just take good notes, write things down so I could remember things about those clients, so that when I did return, I could say, hey, how was your grandkid's soccer game, or how was your vacation? Just remembering those little things helps them to feel connected to you. I haven't had a lot of clients drop off because I do care, and I think that it's important for agents to really want to help these people and not just look at them as a quick sale.
Well,
They are people.
I want to come back to that for a second. And you just swerved into something that it drove me nuts when you started. Absolutely drove me bonkers. I am an old paper guy. All right. This is my fact finder right here. It's a folder. It's got notes on the back, spots for things on the inside. And you did not like that. You didn't like that at all. And I think you said something about your handwriting's not as readable as you wish it would, especially when you're feeling pressure and trying to get notes down. And so you've got your iPad there with a little keyboard, and you can type faster than you can write. And it's legible at the end. And you put together a digital fact finder, which I remember I fought you on this at the beginning. And when we had our weekly one-on-ones where I'd go through all of your appointments for the week and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, where is it? In fact, if I remember right, I think I actually in the first couple months made you transcribe it into the fact finder, hoping that I was going to break you of this terrible habit of typing and work the system that I'd already was so comfortable with. But again, you won that. But the thing about it is that when it comes to a fact finder, and we've talked about this, that I use a different version of a fact finder than I did years ago. And I've gone through, and where I personally don't do Medicare anymore, the fact finder that I use is very heavy on the financial side. However, we've got several versions of this that we help agents with, and when we go through and we meet with agents, they've got versions of a fact finder that they like themselves. But how many agents out there that you work with do you find don't have a fact finder, and what does that do to their business? What are you seeing the problems that come from not having a system that you can use every single appointment?
Oh, I don't know. I would say most of them don't have the proper processes that we talked about. They don't have the fact finders in place or a CRM. It's so important to be able to have the CRM. And I like the digital fact finder because then I can copy and paste it and upload that into my CRM. And so I can put in there why I chose that product for that person in case I'm ever questioned by somebody, the insurance company, or that they ever try to come back at me. I have all my notes, why I put them into a Medicare product, why I put them into a life insurance product or an annuity. So it's important to have those things time-stamped and an explanation of why you did what you did. So I don't think most agents have that in place or really understand the value of that. A lot of times we get started and we have, you told me years ago, you're going to feel like you have 2 fire hoses in your face. I felt like I had 10. You got a lot coming at you, and it's hard to understand like all of the different things that you need to do. You're trying to get certified with all these companies. You're trying to understand the products. You've got all these booklets, especially if you're a broker. It's a lot to take in. And so I feel like if you're able to be organized from the beginning, then you're going to be more successful. I remember training an agent who didn't really feel like it was important to take notes. She thought she would just remember things. I'm like, when you start getting a lot of clients, you're not going to remember these things that these clients are telling you, and you don't have good notes, you're going to be in trouble. You can't, just like if you go into a doctor's office, they can't remember everything that their patients are telling them. They have to take notes and keep track of things, just like we do.
I think that's beautifully said. And a lot of it comes with comfortability. I know like when I first started, the building the relationship was tough because I didn't know how. when you're starting to like get into a house and you're like, okay, well, talk about the things on the wall or try and make conversation. I would rush mine because I was uncomfortable. And I think that comes with like learning and just maybe being more still with who you are and what you have to offer. But I appreciate that you didn't let me off the hook with that. I mean, our building the relationship sometimes got extensive for me. I remember sitting in appointments and being like, all right, it's been an hour. Are we going to do this thing or what? And you were never in a rush. And I think that was very important for someone like me and my personality, who I tend to rush and just like, all right, let's go, let's go. And I'm a hustler in that way. I just want to go to the next. And when you really sit down with people and you invest your time with them, I think the opportunities present themselves a lot fuller. And you mentioned taking notes, and I know Ryan was on you about taking them on your computer, and I don't think it matters anymore. I think if you
No.
want to write them down or if you're wanting to do it on your computer, like whatever works best for your system. And you're absolutely right. Like when you send me your notes on clients, it literally made me feel horrible about my notes, because I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the things she's noticing in those appointments that I'm missing. And it just helped get me better. And I would look at your stuff, and it was very detail oriented, and I'm good at a lot of things, and sometimes the details escape me. But in this business, they're so important and so critical and crucial. It could be the difference between you writing an annuity and you not. It could be the difference between $10,000 in your pocket or not. Just spending that extra time and adding that detail in. And I know you mentioned a CRM. And we have plugged LeadShop before at leadshop.org. They're our marketing company and our CRM. But kind of tell us a little bit about how you use LeadShop to get your business and how to better yourself.
I use LeadShop. I do workshops in my area. So we use LeadShop for the workshops. You can do digital or mailers, and I've done both. So I use it for my marketing company, and then also use that as the CRM to be able to keep track of my clients. It's important, especially with annuities, like I said, to take good notes of why you put people into certain products. We upload all of our sheets that we have people fill out, our confidential needs analysis, our fact finder. If we do illustrations, we have the client sign that they see where the fees are, they see where the surrender charges are. We have them sign and initial those pages so that they understand every little thing about the contract that they are signing. And we upload that in the CRM to make sure that we have that on hand. And then also you can do drip campaigns, for birthdays, holidays, educational content. So LeadShop's been a great CRM to be able to stay organized and to be able to run my workshops. So we've had good success with getting the room filled. So I've been pretty happy with that. I've tried lots of CRMs. A lot.
We've tried a lot of marketing companies too. I mean, but as far as that and Lead Shop, again, that's just kind of the one that we've kind of settled in on that's really doing a good job for us. So I do like it tremendously. Now, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of other things here. So we've talked about the importance of this. Now, when you sit down with an agent after our class, what kind of education do you give them? What kind of additional tools do you show them how to use? As far as that, do they have homework? What is there a structured process? I mean, Kylie and I have got the class that we go to on Tuesday mornings that we have. That's Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That's a Zoom link where people can dial in and do a case design with us. We share, sometimes there's a bunch of people in that, sometimes there's not. But we post that on our Facebook group, annuityfundamentals.com. But it's the same link every week, so they're going to be able to go through and do that. But if somebody wants to work with you, and I come to you and say, all right, I've got my tee up. What do I do next? What do you tell them?
Go party. You got your tea up. Go celebrate. No, a lot of times they're pretty prepared because you guys have trained them so well. I mean, you're teaching them annuity fundamentals, right? So you're teaching them all the fundamental things that they need to do to be successful. Sometimes the order of things, they get a little confused on that. So I have to just remind them on the different steps that it takes. But if they need help with their company introduction, I can work on them one-on-one with their company intro and tweak that a little bit if they're just not quite comfortable. If they're having issues with fact finding, getting into the money, if they've been a Medicare agent for several years, it's a little bit of a shift asking people about their assets if they haven't been doing that. So I work with them on getting comfortable with that, and then also on how to do the Annuity 101 presentation with their clients. They're able to see me in that appointment with them. I'm with their clients. They're usually in the client's home or they're coming into their offices. And so we have those, appointments, and then just sometimes there's things missing. So I need to just, remind them of the data that we need to be able to do case studies with them. And yeah, but most of the time they're pretty prepared. So you guys are doing a good job.
Yes, take that to the bank. I think the whole reason we implemented that, your training after ours is because ours isn't, after the 6 weeks, you're going to have language and you're going to have systems, but they're not perfect, right? You're just diving into the deep end. And when they meet with you one-on-one, that one-on-one time is really special, especially when you have like a specific case you're going over, right? It's easy to role play when you're playing pretend, but when you actually have a client with $150,000 and you're saying, okay, I took the training, I did everything Kylie and Ryan told me to do, I did my company intro, I did the fact finding, I got the annuity tee up, and now I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like that is normal, and that is part of the process. That's why we have added Angelique in that side to come in and say, okay, we're the now what? We can help you with the Annuity 101, which we do go over in class as well. Don't worry, but a refresher is always nice. And I tell the people in the class, like, you have people here, and I'm meaning here by myself, Ryan, Angelique, and Doug, who want you to be successful just with our team alone. And that isn't including all of the partnering IMOs that we deal with as well. But here at Annuity Fundamentals, we really want you to be successful. And a lot of that is just tweaking the onesie, twosie things. But they're enough tweaking that it makes you uncomfortable because that isn't what you've been doing or it's new to you. So that's pretty natural, and I do appreciate, Angelique, you coming on and just kind of giving them a brief outlook of what the time after the 6 weeks look like. You still have us in your back corner. We're rooting for you. We want you to be successful, and that with Angelique is very precious. She's great at what she does, and she does it well, and that's why she was one of the top annuity producers at our old company year after year. I learned everything I knew from her and the systems that Doug implemented, and then with Ryan at the helm. So we speak passionately about this because we lived it. We live it today. This is our lives, and this is how we got started and why we're still here. And so if you're watching this and you're ready to take the next step, then look us up, annuityfundamentals.com, and just look through our website and see what we have to offer, and then book an exploratory phone call. Ironically, you're going to talk to me, so you're welcome. And we'll see if we're a good fit for each other. I mean, everyone's a little bit different, but we're here to help you reach your goals. And our success is directly correlated to your success. So that should show you the investment that we have in you as well. So yeah, Angelique, we're running a little bit past time here, but I just wanted to say thank you for hopping on. Fact finding's a big deal. So you need to have some systems in there, and you need to stick with them, right? Whenever you try and go off on your own, that's when you have a bad appointment. So she's very systematic, as are we. So I appreciate you being on here and just really implementing that and taking that home, driving that home for people. Like, hey, it needs to be the same every single time. And that's when you're going to get the result. So yeah, this episode, ironically, is also brought to you by leadshop.org. So they are our marketing company and our CRM. And that's what makes our world go round. So if you're looking for something to get you organized and get you back on track, check them out over at leadshop.org. And yeah, if you guys have anything to add now, do you guys have anything else?
No, my big thing, that's you summarized it beautifully. And when Angelique was just got speaking a minute ago, what I really got from what she said in that first appointment is she helps agents where they are. Different agents come out of this with different levels of experience. Some of them know how to do a fact finder really well. Other ones, people can't spell fact finder, and she helps them where they are. And that's one of the beautiful things about it is the system is very scalable. And if you've got a group of people, she can deal with them all at once. It's fantastic.
It's fun. I love it. I love teaching agents how to help their clients protect those assets. There's no better feeling than being able to serve them and just educate them first and foremost. So thanks for having me, guys.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, Angelique. And on the bright side, you get to hang out with all three of us at one point or the other. So it's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. We are Annuity Fundamentals.